fell from 40 to 6. But then the normal diminishing returns curve sets in as it naturally will, and then of course there is the systems that don't work, and then of course the corruption came in to steal the medicine, and all those things come in. But I would say that the diminishing return curves does come in to undermine the progress of anything. But what should happen? Even things like, there was a time when I remember I read about the times of TB. I could not even call it the name TB.
Yes.
They used to call it the consumption. In whispers, the consumption.
Really?
Because it consumed you, and you became very small. Yes, tuberculosis. I read that was during the time of Madame Curie, that lady that discovered uranium. I think she had TB, and it was it was a word that you could not even talk of. Tuberculosis. They used to call it the consumption, quietly in whispers, and everybody was concerned about the consumption, and then nobody was talking about the consumption anymore. So I think it's a normal trend for people to forget and move on to something else, especially that the management of AIDS gave it a comfort zone, took it to a comfort zone where people felt that they didn't look so bad anymore. They were not stigmatized. They were pampered, almost pampered, really.
They were drums.
They were drums. It was given a face. So that comfort zone built a complacency that backfired. And we're living with the effects of that backfiring. And so we need to revitalize the campaign.
That's a very important analysis.
Actually, Edmond,
create a complacency that backfired, giving it a human face, accepting the victims, accommodating them. You're saying it backfired, even though it had good intentions. That's a very important analysis. Later, I would like you to talk to us about corruption and how it affects the health systems and how it falls back to AIDS. But Dr. Byaruhanga, before you intervene, I would like you to talk to us about treatment, research, and the vaccine. But before you do that, can you talk to us about the structural impact of AIDS? Well, communities and society.
Well, HIV AIDS has actually been one of the most, and I think that's why it's put on top of the agenda in terms of a disease, but also a kind of structural challenge and a big issue socially, culturally, traditionally. Betty has just mentioned about the political leadership. I think as Uganda, we were privileged that in the 90s, late 80s and early 90s, the president came out and indeed gave leadership, and we thought that actually we as technocrats would then pick it up from there. But I think, I don't know what could have happened, whether the systems eventually picked it up. AIDS control program kind of picked it up. It was first a frightening situation. I was trying to tell Honorable here that the drums that time would bang, and you would say, someone has died, and you'd rethink through, and you would be saying, AIDS kills, and that.
You go to the radio, sound like
yes. Actually, recently I was talking with the chairman of the Uganda AIDS Commission, and was saying, we need to start thinking of how we can go back to that time to make people again aware. People have gone in complacency now. People say, you see Raymond is HIV positive, but you can see look at him, he's continuing to live, and he's put on weight, he's doing well. I want to remind Ugandans
that he has a child.
The child is negative, or even might be positive, but these things go on. And I think at a particular point in time, in about 2000, USAID brought in this huge funding. Organizations sprang up and got all this money under the pretext that they would be providing services to the communities. We're not seeing so much happening in the communities, but at the end of the day, the structural challenges of HIV/AIDS go beyond the health system. They go beyond the health system. They go into the family. They go into gender issues. They go into our culture,
the corporate culture.
Look at our culture, for example. In our culture, when you go to get a wife, At the time, you would not know where you're even getting your wife. You would go for the first time and see. Today, go at Nakumat at about midnight.
Yes.
On a Saturday.
Get yourself a wife.
You'll get a wife.
Ready made.
Get introduced to the restaurant.
Go. Yes. 2 weeks later, the wedding is finished. And you don't know where she has been. You don't know her status.
Right.
You don't know how she moved. So the HIV/AIDS itself has a huge structural, cultural, traditional background that needs to be resolved. The political will is needed. We need to go back to the Abuja Declaration. In case of funding, but also in case of political direction. We need that kind of recommendations.
Yeah, of course. I remember the early 90s, the times of Dr. Okware.
Yes.
When they used to show us these videos, people suffering from sarcoma.
Yes.
The times of Philly Lutaya.
When Philly Lutaya was singing,
they used to call it slim.
When Philly Lutaya was singing, "Today It's Me."
Yes.
Everybody who watched TV was scared.
Things are chilling.
At one time they said even you would go. Before you even thin, they see your hair going up, they take you back to the village. I mean, there was nothing. Right. Today we have all these services, but we have relaxed. We think they're ARVs. You will not get ARVs at facilities.
No, but then, doctor,
yes,
those that have relaxed are the 40% that you're talking about,
yes,
who have access. But there are people, like you said, Dr. Raymond, the problem is wider than just the health system.
Yes.
Because when you've taken the ARVs, for instance, you need food.
Yes.
You need to eat well. You need to slow down. But sometimes you can't slow down. Even if you wanted to slow down, you don't have a job. I mean, the stress, the mere stress that we have here, kids are forced into early marriages so that their parents can get some money. Kids are forced on the streets. I mean, just look at what happened. I don't know what a component of Acholi in your statistics.
Yes.
We've spent 20 years. I would like to know the component of Acholi in those statistics, where kids were just raped left and right, slept on the street, nobody didn't have any parents. I mean, it was a catastrophic that happened, and I really wish that the Acholi catastrophe would even be handled as a unit outside the general statistics, because then I think the prevalence in Acholi was almost 100%. So you know,
maybe very high,
very high. So it's bigger than that. The unemployment, poverty. You talk about. I mean, when you want to talk about the statistics of this country, they say, and every year the president has, in his State of the Nation address, said that 85% of the population of Uganda are still subsistence farmers.
Yes.
Their occupation is agriculture. But their contribution to GDP is 15%.
Yes.
Which means 85 people
not very productive
produce 15%. They're not productive at all.
Okay. Talk to us about corruption. How does it destroy our health systems?
Well, I think you've already said it in a word. Corruption destroys our health system. Look at that Gavi money that was supposed to build hospitals. And there's also something that people don't realize. A lot of money goes into supporting the privileged abroad.
Yes.
There was a time when I was still in Parliament.
What do you mean the privileged abroad?
A few people get treated abroad.
All right.
Because there are no facilities here in Uganda. Yes. I think not good enough for them or not available in time for them. But there was a time that a report was brought to Parliament, or I think it leaked in the press, where 3 people in Uganda spent, the taxpayer spent 1 billion shillings to treat 3 people, and that's what leaked in the press. You know, so
the details are
what didn't leak in the press is almost the whole ministry budget. So there are so many things, and corruption is not just about stealing the money, but also the decisions that are made. Why would you decide to treat one person at $500 million when that $500 million can bring a machine to Mulago that will, I'd rather sacrifice that one person, really. and let him die, and buy a machine that will treat millions of Ugandans for 100 years.
At the time, there was no DNA machine in Mulago. I don't know if they've got it now, but I went to a research center in this country that had a DNA machine, and they said, "Don't say it. Don't tell them."
Don't say it. So it's not funny when I say I'd rather sacrifice that one person. I think if it was it's hard to say. You can even say it's heartless or hard, or nobody can make a decision like that. But even to make a decision to send one person at 500 million shillings,
right,
when Mulago has a requisition for 500 million shillings,
and
you can't sign a Mulago requisition,
right,
but you sign this one person.
Yeah, of course, we talk about structural problems. The place where it hit hardest was in Raqqa. I've seen families, child-headed families.
That's where it
comes real. I've seen modern homes that have been locked, not just one or two. Modern homes that have been locked, and people just go away. They throw, like, the neighbors come and slash the compound because there's nobody living person, and it's a modern home. Dr. Byaruhanga, talk to us about the research treatment. How does one get treated? Is there hope? Very briefly before we hear from the listener.
Well, I think just to be very clear, I think there is treatment, but there is no cure. We have available ARVs. Those are antiretroviral drugs that can be used to reduce the rate at which you can progress into AIDS and probably death. And we have seen a lot of success stories in terms of some of these ARVs. And many people who are on ARVs, that's why we're seeing
they look
normal, and we are seeing a 30% reduction in death today in mortality. However, today we were able to launch the National Prevention Strategy. And this National Prevention Strategy, to many of us, if you recall what we used to call the ABC,
yes,
that's abstaining, being faithful, and condom use.
Yes.
We feel like this needs to continue, but we need to rejuvenate it. We need to add more of the available services that now we have in terms of research data. Research has it that when you circumcise, you have a 60% chance of not acquiring HIV. Out of 100 people circumcised, 60% will not get HIV compared to those that are not circumcised.
Right.
So the additional support in terms of from the ABC, we have circumcision, we have got to eliminate mother-to-child transmission.
Right.
By the way, prevention of mother-to-child transmission, like many say, we have very good strategies, we have very good policies, but we have not implemented them. The research was done in Uganda by the late Professor Miro and proved that actually we can reduce mother-to-child transmission. But up to now, we're still getting 27,000 newborn babies with HIV.
Let's hear from the listeners. This is Spectrum on Radio 1 tonight. We're looking at the world. Is it the fight against HIV and AIDS? Why is Uganda facing stagnation? Our numbers 0414 348 111, 0312 260 390, 0312 261 390. When you call in, please tell us your name and where you are calling from. Yes, Dr. Byaruhanga.
Yes. HIV combination prevention.
Yes.
That is what we think is going to be our...
Okay, let's hear from listener Spectrum. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir, your name?
Yes, Edmond. My name is Hassan Nyanja.
Can you switch off your radio or walk away from it?
My name is Hassan Nyanja, thank you. I'm calling from Kampala. I would like to comment about the subject of discussion today about HIV/AIDS. My take on that would be that the reason why the disease has not gone down compared to the recent past is we have gone down to campaign. We have gone down in as far as campaigning against the disease is concerned. By this I mean that in the recent past, you could see everywhere you go adverts placed all over the road, on the roadside, telling people to use the ABC strategy, and even the newspapers could almost on a daily basis issue some tips in the newspapers to people not to their lives
Yeah.
out like that.
Right.
And I think that has gone down. Thank you very much.
Spectrum, hello? Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening, your name?
My name is Ere.
Yes, sir.
I thank the doctor and the other sister there. Now, first of all, I want to congratulate Ugandans today on this important day, particularly the workers agent at the airport. I just want to inform you that the airport today, about 158 workers, actually we had HIV workplace testing and counseling, and 158 actually tested and were cancelled. I'm very happy about that kind of, but I want just to comment on what doctor about the political will. Actually, our president, I want to thank him, is one of the presidents of Africa who have come out openly and actually encouraged people on issue of AIDS, HIV AIDS. Now, the biggest problem is that the technocrats have let him down because he was the one who started it as a leader. But some people are supposed to pick it from there and take it to another level. But you have seen the scam and so on which he has. But the time is not yet out. Me and you, the person listening to me out there, let us all join our hands and make people aware of HIV AIDS. That is the only way. And I want to thank Kamya because that is the only way. As a leader, you are trying to show us that, yes, things can happen.
All right. Spectrum, hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, your name?
Sylvia calling from Manyangwa.
Yes, Sylvia.
I want to create some awareness over the radio. I have a neighbor. She's an old woman, but caring for a child suffering from HIV. She's being helped by an organization run by whites, but these whites were giving ordinary tablets like aspirin, not introducing the kid to the ARVs. Not until she was admitted in Mulago. Mulago told her the girl is HIV positive and here is poor woman. She needs money from the other organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia in Manyangwa. Spectrum, hello? Okay, I think we'll get one more caller and then we'll get back to the studio. Spectrum, hello?
Hello.
Yes, your name?
Hello?
Hello, we can hear your name.
Hello.
Hello, you're live on Spectrum. Your name?
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Talk to us.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Christine, and I would like to just make a comment about the theme for today and all. I think as a population, Ugandans, the government and health workers could have done a bit of work, but I think as a population, we just need to be serious. We are complacent. Because of the fact that people know their ARVs, people continue to live risky lives because they know after all, I can always be treated and improve, and that's why we are seeing new infections. Yes, the government could have could have loopholes here and there, like the health system is not strong enough to take on the people who are already infected and cater for them. But as far as the population ourselves, I think for a long time there have been good sensitization campaigns around in the villages. You cannot compare the knowledge now and maybe compared to 10, 15 years ago. We just need to improve our morals, at least reduce the infections among the adults and all. And regarding prevention of mother-to-child transmission, because I understand that thing today was dealing with zero, new infection.
Yes.
I would think that hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Kristen.
It should be regarded as criminal for a mother who knowingly transmits HIV to her new baby.
Oh.
When all has been done, I know the system is weak. Sometimes mothers in the rural, health.
Kristen, we lost you. I think we got a big part of your question. Honorable Kamya.
I want to thank the people that have responded to this discussion. And I agree with most of them. And Hassan, I agree with Hassan that we really have lost momentum on sensitization. And we need to pick it up. Because at some point, you must, look at religion, for instance. There are revivals. Sometimes you go down and the church says, we're not getting any more, we're not getting enough Christians coming on Sundays, so what do we do? And the revival, the bishop's just going around, and so it's normal, the ups and downs, the curve, it's normal in every aspect of life. The cycle, the bishop will start going around, and now in the Church of Uganda, they say people are going to the Pentecostal churches because there's dancing and music, and so you introduce it here. So that will happen. So Ugandans, we must realize that we need to revive the campaign. And of course, Owere is right. Only I think that the political leadership of President Museveni, while we thank it, we must also recognize that it must be wholesome. It cannot just be about sensitization and then not about all the other things that need to go with it. You tell people, don't eat that mango, it's poisonous. But people go ahead and eat it anyway, some of them. So, have you stocked the medicine with hospitals? Besides, they've given you money to do that anyway. So, this leadership, I think we should not also blow it out of proportion. It must be wholesome. It can't be just about warnings, but not also about the things that must be done to contain and stop that. I think he needs to do more about that.
Okay.
But finally, I would like to talk about, at some point, leadership or government can only do so much, but human nature will take risks. You tell people smoking kills, they still smoke. You tell them don't drink and drive, don't break laws. They'll go ahead and break all the laws. Use your seatbelt. They know the repercussions. Somebody takes a curve at 140 kilometers per hour. They just take a curve, and so people will take risks. But the leadership can only do so much. But you must continue to,
They should do very briefly the bundle of treatment. We're getting most of the money from donors. What happens if they change their mind? Very briefly, sir, madam.
They have changed their mind.
Take it from there.
The donors have changed their mind. The donors not only have changed their mind, but they also have challenges back home. And I think that's where I think Honorable Bettie is saying that do not only look at the political will, but also what goes with the political will. We need to begin to see the politicians allocating more resources to not only HIV/AIDS but to the health systems. What do I mean? I mean, doctors need to be paid.
Yes.
I was just discussing.
A good salary.
I was just discussing with Bettie Kamya here. And even when doctors are in Kampala trying to get the drugs, where is the pharmacist? Where is the driver? What is the doctor doing in national medical stores picking up drugs for ARVs?
You're saying drivers leave the villages to come and pick drugs in Kampala?
Doctors, yeah. They spend 2 weeks and they're not in the village treating the people. So systems need to change. How do we make health workers more respondent to making sure that treatment is...
But also, ultimately, I think I must talk about this. The voter, the citizen, is the ultimate arbiter. If someone has not delivered,
don't bring him
in
back.
5 years, don't bring him back.
How much
because every 5 years, there are options, alternatives. So, if you're not happy with one alternative, you have alternatives, for goodness sake. Other people have got to know that.
All right. we have to go. Our time is up. Thank you very much, dear. This is a broad topic. You can't really cover it all. Thank you very much. Dr. Raymond Byaruhanga, Executive Director of the AIDS Information Center. Thank you for coming to Spectrum, sir.
Okay.
Honorable Bettie, President of the Uganda Federal Alliance Party. Thank you for coming to Spectrum. Thank you for tuning in. I've been your host, Edmond Kizito. Spectrum. We'll be back tomorrow. Right now, you can hear the news in English. Do stay tuned.
Just like an uncut diamond is brought to life by unmatched skill and dedication, only our brewmaster holds the secret to